Went off. I know it was overwhelmingly, Jamal, with the requests and all this thing. So it made it shut it up because it was overwhelming, you know, so many requests. So I can see what was the problem. But please come on, let's do this, you know. We apologize for that inconvenience. Christine.
Hi, how are you?
So.
Hi. I have one question.
It looked like we have some issue there. We can, you know, get her right. So let me go ahead here and see this here. So, Christine, I'm sorry we lost you for some reason. It looked like the network is not cooperating properly. So I'm calling you, Manyang, and Okel. I'm still asking you to send in your request, please. Send in your request.
Hello, Brother Jongkor.
Hello, good to see you.
Yeah, thank you very much. How are you?
I am doing great. I apologize to everybody at Jamal because it was overwhelmingly a lot of, you know, requests were sent in, and unfortunately, you know, it just, you know, it dropped it out itself. So go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, that gave me an opportunity to be in. I was trying to call in before, and the line was full. First of all, Jongkor, I would like to acknowledge your viewers, and I also need to give you the word of appreciation for the show. I was listening when the General Thomas Cirillo was speaking. The point I would like to add, it is good today we have heard from the leader of NAS, Thomas Cirillo.
Yes.
He has spoke very well, and it is good people are airing in their views regarding the way he presented himself. Seeing he left Juba, that was not long ago, and formed his movement, that is NAS, some people decide to join him. But the question we always ask citizens of South Sudan, as citizens of South Sudan, we need not to be taken for a ride, regardless of the opposition, whatever platform they want to present.
Yes.
We always ask, why so many opposition in South Sudan? If exactly what they need is they change in the country, or they want to come up with a system that will benefit the people of South Sudan. Why so many opposition? And that is the question we must ask them. And this question I'm directed to Thomas Cirillo. He was with the government until the last minute that he left Juba and come and form his own opposition. And now we can come to us and say that he got a vision, of which I appreciate the people who spoke before. He has not articulated what platform he has. So with me, I'm asking him again, what vision do you have for the people of South Sudan? And why so many opposition? And to me, Comrade Jongkor, I'm not a supporter of all the opposition, but I have to say this to the supporters of NAS. Maybe he had a national agenda. Thomas Cirillo may be having a national agenda, but his followers, see him as their own. They don't see him as a national figure. And that is why you see when Jongkor was speaking, they were not happy. But to me, I have to tell them this. If you want your leader to be to appeal to other people of other regions, you have to allow him to be criticized. So to my brothers in Equatoria, Thomas Cirillo was in the liberation struggle and is a respected general. If you want him to be respected, he has to be criticized. With me, what I can say, Thomas Cirillo, whatever he is presenting, I'm not convinced. You know, what they are doing here is all about opposition. It's about position. And I have to say this. The reason why Thomas Cirillo didn't sign the peace agreement, in my view, is because he was not made the vice president in the place of Lemakol. If he was made a vice president, you will see him going to Juba tomorrow. And that is why we say, as citizens of South Sudan, we have to see this politician clearly. What they are after, yes.
Actually, I made a comment last couple of days. We don't want anyone to say Southern Sudan anymore. We need to say South Sudan, citizen of South Sudan. Sorry.
Okay.
Because
no problem, yes.
Go ahead.
That was actually what I intended to say. So to me, what I just want to say, our leaders in opposition or wherever they are, is all about position. They want position, they don't have any clear guideline about the country. So Thomas Cirillo now is presenting himself as an alternative, or as if he has a vision for South Sudan, but what he's after is the position. If he's given position tomorrow, you will see him going to Juba. And that is why when they come to live and talk to us as citizens of South Sudan, we have also to be cautious. We don't need to be following them. If I come up tomorrow with my party and say I will take South Sudan to point A to point B, you don't need to follow me. Yeah. So what we need is, actually, we need peace in our country. But the reason our leaders don't want peace to come to our country because of too many opposition. And that was the point I want to make.
Thank you.
Thomas Cirillo is not genuine in what he's presenting, and you will see him the way he speaks. See him in the United States. Who are the people attending his rallies? They are all people from his region. And that is the thing we don't want. We want him to have a platform that is national. When he comes, he speaks to the people of South Sudan altogether. But if he speaks to 1/4 of the population of South Sudan, that is the reason why you see now we are very doubting, and we are just assuming that he is just so he's just negotiating his way to the government. That's why you see he's putting the clear opposition so that is made relevant, and then later on he will join the board and then become a part of the system without any change. Thank you, Comrade Jongkor.
Thank you, Manyang. And let me go ahead here and call some other South Sudanese here to be. So let me go ahead and see here. Gurkuja, I didn't see you requesting, but actually I would love to, to have one of the NAS. Okay, here we go. I saw you there. So now I'm calling you, Gurkujo. Let me get some water. Gurkujo, welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. So you have
Thank you,
General Thomas Cirillo, and I apologize, again for what happened. So many requested, and actually, I don't know, system broke, and it couldn't handle it. A lot of people. So now, General Thomas Cirillo has spoke, and many people came. Some people agree, some people disagree. From NAS perspective, you as a NAS member, what your intake here?
First of all, let me thank you for bringing our chairman so that they speak direct to people of South Sudan. And also I have to acknowledge the audience that they came to participate, to listen to our chairman and commander-in-chief, Thomas Cirillo. He spoke eloquently, and within that short period of time, he managed to to give his message. And when it becomes too long, it gets monotonous. People will start to lose the excitement.
Correct.
But also, I want to acknowledge NAS vision and mission is not a hidden agenda. It is available, and those who are not familiar with our mission and vision, they can request it. We can forward it to them. We can share it with them, and we can debate. We can debate and to have a healthy debate. Yes, we have to disagree to agree. There is no surprise here. And strongly, I believe we must have this healthy conversation. And this is what I keep repeating. Instead of we fight with gun, with arrows, with the danga, with the AK-47, pick 'em. Let us use logic to create our argument and to listen to the other party. And that is why from the very beginning, after our chairman speech, we decide to give room to others, let them come with what they got in their position. Our vision and missions are not clear. Simply, we are, yes, our chairman was part of the system, was part of the SPLA or the SPLM. But all of us as South Sudanese, at a certain point, all of us were SPLM supporter or SPLA supporter, because it was the only organization that is speaking on behalf of our people. But as time goes by, when we settle, we reach our point, we declare our country. This is whereby we start to form our own organization. One of the brothers spoke earlier criticizing where NAS have been, where Thomas Cirillo have been during the IO start their war. I will send the same question back to him. Riek Machar was the vice president when our people in Western Bahr el Ghazal were being killed, and Salva Kiir went to Wow Stadium and insulted and revoked our people and supporting the government that if he would have been in Rizik Zakaria position, he would have fought harder than what Rizik did. Riek Machar was the vice president. What he did in return? Nothing. He was in Cuba. There is no reaction. The rebellion started from December of 2012, even prior to what took place in Juba. And then the IO picked it from there. Thomas Cirillo never stayed shy. He stated clearly while he was in Juba, he supported the IO logistically. And those who are in IO, they know it very, very well. But we in social media, we can say whatever we say, but it wasn't a secret. He made it clear in several statements. He referenced to how he have been supporter of the IO. And he made it during his speech in Nashville, Tennessee. All of us are IO, but he refused to join Riek Machar, to be part of Riek Machar organization, because NAS got their own vision and mission. And our vision, we are looking into South Sudan whereby, first of all, we have to rebuild, reconstruct this broken social fabric that Salva Kiir destroyed completely. And that is one of the root cause, how Junubin can come together. And that is why he started with unified message to bring all Junubin together. Let us air our views and idea, unite, so that we can topple this regime, first of all. Then we can sit down and to have a government of institution, starting with the national army and the law enforcement. Yes, the army which are in South Sudan, they are tribal army. The Jesh Kabali. But the Lilinu in the night, bisabutuk biasaluk betongmonjang. So they don't ask you in English, they don't ask you in Arabic. So biasaluk betongmonjang, what kind of national army is that? Is Dinka language become the official language for Republic of South Sudan? The answer is no, and we know it very well. So what are we talking about? Who empower those who are in national security in the army to use Dinka language to question people, to ask them? And if you are not Dinka, then you are in trouble. If you are Dinka, they treat you differently. And all of our people across South Sudan, they witness it. So come on, what is it? Is it a national army? It is not. When the war broke out, the same army went door by door, targeting our brother the Nuer. And if you cannot speak Dinka language, then you are gone. Those bad wounds, we don't want to open them, my people. Let us open a new page whereby those criminals should be held accountable. That is why also we call for punitive measure. So those who commit crime against humanity, they must be held accountable. And we have the report that been led and compiled by Abasanjo. That is whereby it came with a recommendation for the hybrid court. And it is something in progress. The American government, I believe, they released $5 million so that to establish that hybrid court. Investigation will take place. Who are involved in those crimes will be brought to justice. And that will pave the way to healing and reconciliation. Because when those criminals being brought to justice, then the relative, the family member, they will have the sense of a closure. The Nuer people will be satisfied. Those criminals who killed them in Juba in thousands, they were being held accountable. Our people who were killed in Western Bahr el Ghazal, those will be accountable. In Shulu area, in so many other areas in Republic of South Sudan. Even those criminals who are committed crime against the Awil people now in Juba, since Paul Malong left Juba, Awil people been targeted and been abused, been bitter, and some of them, they lost their life, and those are facts. We cannot deny it. Also, those should be brought to justice. So justice first, and then healing and reconciliation process will start. With the regard to issue of the root cause, there is injustice everywhere across South Sudan. And that is why people rebel, because of the injustice. The cause and the reason might vary, but the government also, the big title, we will agree that the government failed to deliver any service to our people. There is no healthcare, there is no education, there is nothing in the country. Everybody is struggling, and it goes across all South Sudan. We have seen millions number flying on social media, official documentation with millions of dollars, $300 million to bring supply to South Sudan. But where are those resources? People don't have access to food. People don't have access to medical service. Kids, no access to school. Forget about it. Leave the injustice alone. Leave the issue of land. So those who are claiming that they don't know the root cause of the problem, then they are the cause of the problem, because they create it and they continue to deny. Sudan. Why people everywhere are resisting the government? Why people everywhere are fighting against this regime? So something is wrong. This is whereby we need to sit down and to address it, to find a way how we can come together. Without toppling this system in Juba, we will not get anywhere. Federalism. Federalism is a broad topic.
Correct.
Federalism is a popular demand, as my chairman mentioned it. Junubin start calling for federalism from 1947, and through the way, till Riek Machar called for 21 federal state of Republic of South Sudan. Why, when Riek Machar called for federalism, nobody came out and said, hey, it is a Kokora 0.20? What is wrong? This question, because Riek Machar called for federalism, the IO. So why nobody claim Al Assassin, no, this is Kokora or whatever? because it came from Riek Machar. But since National Salvation Front brought it to the stage, now it become a kokora, modern kokora. Let us be realistic. We have a problem in South Sudan. And the leadership that came from a larger group, they continue to use their tribal base with the concept that they have the majority, they will be able to intimidate, terrorize, and send everybody apart. And this is wrong. South Sudan been led by a member from small minority tribes, and they conducted themselves very, very well. Because when somebody come from a small group, he come from a small tribe, he will try to do, or she will try to do her best to balance so that to bring everybody in equally and to make sure there is a level of satisfaction from each ethnic group in the country. But when somebody come from a major tribe, if you are a Dinka man, you have huge people behind you. Why you have to go and forge ally with other tribes or with other group or other story? Why you have to go back and forge ally with other groups or other tribes? You don't need them. You can crush them and go. The same thing that happened with Nuer. So when the White Army, they started, they felt that they have enough manpower, they have a huge number in the army, they can call about change by themselves. But, can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, but when somebody like Thomas Cirillo, if we have to isolate him, he's a Bari guy by tribe. How big is Bari? Okay, so he must do his best so that to mobilize, to bring all South Sudanese to support his cause, or otherwise he will not be able to get anywhere. And that is why he got a national agenda, and he is more than qualified to bring South Sudanese together. There is messages out there, if the leadership is not a Dinka guy or if not a Nuer guy, you know, you will not be able to reach to the higher seat. This is a claim that will continue to defragment our people, and we will continue to fight till, you know, other will come and take over our land. Let us unite as Junubin. Let us criticize the leader based on their agenda, based on their plan, based on what they can bring to the table, but not because to regionalize them, trying to push them. I am very happy my chairman came today. He spoke from heart to people of South Sudan with a clear agenda how to bring Junubin together. I am not an Equatorian guy. I am a proud member of National Salvation Front, and I will continue to advocate and to support the agenda of my party, whereby we call for South Sudan that will represent all of us. There is no classes of the citizen. All of us, we are citizens. We will be able to enjoy all the privileges, regardless of our race, regardless of color of our skin, regardless of our ethnic background, religious belief, sexual orientation, or gender. This is the South Sudan that we believe in. So through unity, through mobilizing our people to come together, to work collectively, to bring all ethnic of South Sudan to involve in this process, this is whereby we will be able to have a genuine peace and to live in peace and harmony. And that is why part of our National Salvation Front proposal during the peace talk to form Council of Tribes instead of this state council, to form a Council of Tribes, to bring all leaders of Oslo tribe in one council, whereby they can debate, they can know themselves, they can discuss how to rebuild and reconstruct the social fabric that's been destroyed. But without doing it, starting from a social base, because politics is about social, and then economical interests and other things will kick in. But without starting from the social base, we will not get anywhere.
Thank you.
So this army, still, I will continue to call them a tribal army. They are not qualified to represent us. That is why I will repeat, I will use this podium again. I call for dismantle of what's so-called the SPLA, which is, I call it the Oye army. And from South Sudan, we can form a national army, national reinforcement, law enforcement that will represent us. So wherever I go in Juba, in the night, nobody will ask me in a specific language, who are you and where are you coming from? I should be asking Arabic or English, because those are the official language that have been used in the Republic of South Sudan. I will yield the floor back to you. That was the little addition I decided to add. If you have a question for me, bring it, or otherwise, I have to give the floor to others so that they have to bring their perspective.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Brother Kukuju. I don't have question for you. I just want you to, to stick around. Actually, we may bring you back. There's thing coming, on NAS, and then we need NAS people too to answer that question. So thank you. Please stick around there.
Keep up the good work. I hope we will bring General Malonga soon here so that we can hear his perspective as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
God bless you.
Okay. Long list. Let me go ahead here and see what those. You'll need 5 minutes, Jamal, only because we don't have a lot of time.
Hello.
Yes, good to see you, brother. Go ahead, with your perspective. We are running out of time. We have so many people right here. I don't want them to accumulate like what happened before, and then it would break the system. So we should give people, opportunity to speak so they cannot pile up. Go ahead.
Well, thank you. I've been waiting for the last 2 hours and a half, and I thank you for bringing me in. I think your system collapsed a little bit, and you have to go back and do it again.
Yes.
But first of all, let me take the floor and thank you for bringing Thomas Cirillo. I think it is good for a citizen like us to hear from a person that wanted to take the highest seat in the country, so that we have a perspective of what they want to deliver. Because all of us, we welcome anybody to lead us, so long they have good ideas. They are Southern Sudanese. We should not be divisive and be segregative on who to manage us. I thank Thomas Cirillo for coming on, and I thank you for bringing him as well. I'd like to thank your audience too, and I say hello to them for turning on, especially those in Australia. It is early morning for them. I have a couple of things that Thomas Cirillo has responded to your question. I think these are the things that we need to discuss, because these are the things that take our country to the next level. Because we are not here to discuss personalities. We are not here to discuss about Thomas Cirillo himself, whether he's a good man or not. What we want to discuss is the ideas that you want to share with us to deliver the country to the new level. I don't care whether Thomas Cirillo is what in his house. I don't care about that. I'd like to hear what he has to, his platform for us, how we can move forward as a country. So for that, I'm not going to dwell on personality. I'm only going to respond on what he has said.
Please wrap it up. Yes.
Yes. I think on the issue, because you asked him about the problem of the peace that has been signed. What are the problems that would prevent this peace to move forward? He mentioned two things. One is the lack of political will of those who have signed the agreement. Second, it is the international community are not supporting the agreement. Those are the points that he has mentioned. As a person like Thomas Cirillo, I think he would know better. First of all, yes, I would agree that there has been lack of political will between the warring parties, particularly when they signed the agreement in 2015. and there is an eruption on the agreement, I mean, on the collapse of the agreement in 2016. And up to now, it's still, people are suspicious whether these people will sit on the table to move the country forward. This is a suspension, suspicious of the people themselves. You could argue, yeah, there might be lack of political will, but this question of trust is to all of us. This is why Cirillo did not go to Juba. This is why he left Khartoum, for his own security. And it is something to build on. We can build on. This trust cannot be built in one day. It takes time for me to trust you. It takes time for you to trust me, especially if there has been a blood between two people, which has happened between our leaders. So that should not be an issue. The other problem that you say is about the international community support. Yes, it is true. It is true that the international community, especially the Troika, say they might not support this agreement if the warring party are not committed, are not willing to recommit themselves to the implementation of the agreement. That it does not mean they are not going to support it, but they're saying if the warring party are not committed to the agreement, then therefore there is no reason for them to support it. So this is weak for them to say it would make the agreement to collapse. Those are the things that he mentioned. But when you ask him about why he did not sign the agreement, this is where I find him more troubling, because he did not sign the agreement, I believe, purposely for you to ask him that he has some reasonable answers for us to benefit from. Because if you refuse to sign the agreement, there has to be reason. So, but here are the response that he gave. He said, our condition, the cause of the root cause is that they put on the table that the two leaders would be excluded from the agreement of managing the country during the peace agreement. Is that a root cause of the problem? That's not the root cause of the problem. It's the condition. So why? Because these people have fought. There is no reason for them to sit on the same table again. But it is not the root cause of the problem. That's the first thing that he gave. So the condition for the two leaders to go back to the leadership is not the root cause. Second, it is the system of government. The system of government that General Cirillo talked about, and I think Charles Deng was talking about chapter 1 of the agreement. Chapter 1 of the agreement talk about the government, the secure arrangement, the parliament, the decision in the judiciary, the decision making in the executive. The agreement talked about that in chapter 1. So when he said there is lack of good governance of the country, yes, there was. That's why we signed peace. If this peace is implemented, the power is not going to be concentrated on Salva Kiir. But it is not, again, it's not the root cause of the problem. The root cause of the problem was within the SPLMs. And General Cirillo himself said it's not part of the SPLM. So for him to come and tell us today the root cause was because the two leaders has to be excluded is wrong. Third, is that the lean government. When we have a problem in 2013, we have a lean government. It was not a huge government like we have today. And again, this is not a root cause. The lean government is not a root cause whatsoever. We have a huge government today because the negotiators wanted to bring all of us together. This is why we have a big government. But it is not the root cause. The root cause, if I should say, was because the power was concentrated on one person, which happens to be Salva Kiir. The second thing was because the government made a fatal mistake by killing innocent Nuer. Those were the root causes of the problem. But what Thomas Cirillo was telling us today was the root cause to why he refused to sign the agreement. There is nothing that prevents him to sign the agreement, nothing whatsoever. About the pluralism, it is in the agreement. That's why we have an issue of states. And again, he was telling us we should revert to 10 states. Is that a pluralism that he was talking about?
The time is up. I give you 50 seconds to wrap it up. Time is up, brother.
Okay. Well, thank you. Let me wrap it up this way. And I think what we need to know as we, the citizens of South Sudan, is for us to embrace this peace. how do we embrace it? Come together and correct ourselves while we are negotiating peace. Because when Thomas Cirillo took arms, there were rebellion already in the bush. When Dr. Lam took arms, there was rebellion already in the bush, and they went ahead and formed their own government. I mean, their own movement. There's nothing wrong with that. But now that we're signing an agreement, there should be no outcry that we're signing an agreement, because this is what we have been calling for. If there is a question of trust, then this question of trust, all of us need to sit down, because after all, we're not gonna ship what we are negotiating through the barrel of gun, because we have tried that, and instead the NAS themselves took arm against IO. They did not took arm against the government that we were fighting for. So let us embrace peace. Let us come to our senses that for us sitting down together, we would be able to move forward as a country. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, brother. And stick around, please. Let me go ahead. I'm calling you, Sabata. Please go ahead and answer that. Go ahead and answer that, Sabata, so we can move forward. I don't know, are you there or you are not? أنا ما أدري بتاع ده هيك تاني يا جماعة. I will come back to you again. So really quick, you know, Tongjang Nyandeng, good to see you, brother.
Hello. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Jongkor. You did a good show, but let me say one thing here. The time was too limited for General Cirillo. Should be 1 hour, and you served 3 hours for those who answered the question. What I want to say here, I'm not going to say anything, because Thomas thing for General Cirillo are very sensitive to some high official of NAS. Some of them, they're going to go too far, and they're going to really put Thomas Cirillo into problem by annoying people in Facebook for terrorism, Western Barkazal, killing. This sort of thing going to put Thomas Cirillo into problem by some of his own. Thomas Cirillo have right, General T. Cirillo have right. Riek Machar and Kid are not bring anything good. And I thank Thomas Cirillo for refusing not signing this Khartoum, because Arab is coming. And this war something gonna happen very soon. So it's a good thing here. Thomas Cirillo country is in such. Sad thing is, because Thomas Cirillo, you asked earlier, if you won't change, government change, to change a new system, what you get, what Kir do not provide and Kir is vision. I wonder, like some NAS people here, they want to jump in your neck. You don't ask vision. You don't use one word vision. You don't use one term. That are opposite what you will get. How are you going to change the situation? And John Garang will explain it. Riek Machar explain it. Here, I'm not saying anything here. Thomas Cirillo is dreaming to be a leader of people. But what I see so far here, thing of Southern Sudan, when you talked earlier, you will be accused for tribalism. Yeah, South Sudan. So you will be accused for tribalism. I don't see the difference between IO and NAS here. The difference between NAS and IO refuse to sign Bashir invitation of National Islamic Front forces. That's the difference. IO at the day, they used to be rejecting any criticism, and that's what they get confined as Nuer, and now you see what they got. They were branded as a tribe. One thing, mistake I can see clearly for Nas here, talking about, oh, killing in Raja, and we have people in Western Barkazal. When you say killing in Raja, you're accusing Denga killing people in Raja. And I don't think you, Nas, you will be allowed. You accusing Denga, you try to win Denga to abandon Salva Kiir. That language is danger. Don't do this word. It's danger. And a lot of Denga now, they're going to be see people like Kurukuju, the anti-Denga, and you are using Nas as creating anti-Denga, secure Raja, link up to Bashir and Kafia Ganji, and rename what Abu Gurun done that time by using Fratid against Denga. This Nas need to stay away from this federalism. That's what confine IO not to get majority army troop in Barkazal. Because federalism, with the way people in Equatoria think it, and the way people are wow thinking, and people in Afanal seeing it, is reminiscent or conquered a long time ago. Because they throw people out in Juba, and now in Juba land grabbing, and you talk about federalism system. Hey, madam, you always jump on people's neck. Please allow me to talk here.
No, go ahead, go ahead. Don't mind. Just go ahead and speak.
So this, and that's what I've been saying. This Nas gonna die or gonna be branded as a tribe like IO. Because when you don't allow people to talk, what is the dictatorship here? Why you wanna go to my area in Barkazal to recruit people when you don't like Denka? I don't wanna do that. I don't hear that from General Cirillo. But these hostilities I seen here, it's a danger. Thomas Cirillo should be allowed and let him talk. The time was limited, 15 minutes. It was very limited. You should give him 1 hour and then thing go on. But I don't think Thomas Cirillo now, people are wasting time. It's not convening people. You need to go to Barkazal and take those population from Kir, those Denka that some of the supporters hated them. Thomas Cirillo need that. Thomas Cirillo need to go there and tell Noor, Riek Machar fail in this, and you Denga fail in this, and not using that people are killed in Raja or militia and SPLA. There are children, their father killed and wrapped it with a flag of SPLA in a grave. Don't like this whole SPLA waye. This is like Jurukuyo is a high profile high profiling Nas is screwing up Nas now. You cannot tell son of George Kwai or son of Jongarang to abandon word called SPLA. That's wrong. It's dangerous here. Thomas Cirillo, you need to mute it, those your people. They become so disgruntled here. A lot of generals are killed. Their children are left for the vision of SPLA. And SPLA, if Kir is evil, doesn't mean SPLA is evil. You creating more enemy, and you Jurukuyo don't screw up Thomas Cirillo by using those inflammatory words. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tongjang, for coming in and adding your perspective. Let me move forward here with other South Sudanese as well. And I want to remind you, my dear brothers and sisters, when you come here, I want you to quit saying Southern Sudan. We are no longer Southern Sudan. We are no longer part of Sudan. Because when you say people of Southern Sudan, actually you are referring back to a region that below Sudan. We are the Republic of South Sudan. I made this clear for many times. I get so pissed when I hear someone say Southern Sudan. Don't do that. It's so a shame. It makes you that you don't know anything about your country. Please, I remind you, all of you, don't say Southern Sudan, say South Sudan. Okay? It's very important. Let me go ahead here and see who are those. It's not livable. It's really important. You know. So Billy Luke, you have one question. Let me go ahead and bring Sabata before I bring Billy Luke. I'll bring you Billy Luke, but let me go ahead and call Sabata here. Hello. Sabata, good to see you, brother. How are you?
Fine. How are you doing?
Good. The discussion got heated. So,
yes.
Welcome to
I can tell.
of South Sudan.
Thank you very much. By the way, I want to appreciate you, Jongkor, for doing a very good and wonderful thing to all South Sudanese.
Thank you.
And I also want to appreciate the chairman of SOA and also of National Salvation Front, General Thomas Cirillo for the presentation that he has made. I think he has made a very good presentation. He has delivered his message to the people of South Sudan, and there were about 400 and something, and I'm sure this video is going to be forwarded, and many people are going to listen to what Chairman has said, I mean the Chairman of National Salvation Front.
Correct.
Now, my message here, I would like to post it directly to the people of South Sudan, including the 233 who are watching right now. And what I would like to tell the people of South Sudanese is this, that since 2011, we have always, we the people, listened to leaders, and leaders who have come up with policies of what direction our country should go. Now, we have all been aware of what has been happening in South Sudan until the revitalized forum of RCs has commenced and got signed in 2012. Now, to the people of South Sudan, is what direction do you really want for your country, you the people? Leave alone talking about desiring to know what Kir wants for the people, what Riak wants for the people, what Thomas wants for the people. All these leaders have placed, those of Casero, Hakim Dario, all these leaders have presented their plans. They have all presented what direction they want the country to go. How about you, the people? What do you want the country to look like, your own country? And how do you participate in bringing about the direction that you want your country to go towards? Do you want your country, do you want you people to be governed like those who are governed in North Korea? Do you want to be governed like those who are governed in Canada and England and United States of America under a democratic system? What do you want to be governed? Do you want to be governed under a kind of a sectarian kind of a system where each group of people will align after their tribal leaders and feel comfortable or develop a comfort zone somewhere? I mean, what do you have for your country, you the people? We have listened to all these leaders. Now, as far as I am concerned, as far as direction is concerned, I think it is the only person who seems to be making a distinct direction is General Thomas Cirillo. He seems to have always presented the idea that governance in a nation should be given to the people through certain proposals or plans that he has come up with. Federalism is one of them. Okay, now, you the people, don't you guys want that for your country? Or do you want us to be living in a state where the SPLM party is right there, Kir is there like a king, we'll all be subjected to his governance, whatever policies they make? If there is a foul played in the policy, a number of tribal mates ended up getting killed, oh, it's okay, that's the government. Oh, some students come out to demonstrate, just like those Faratit students who came out to demonstrate in 2012, end up getting shot. Oh, it's okay, that's the government. Is that the kind of society we are trying to establish here? Brothers, come on, sisters. Brothers and sisters, I am telling you this. The only way we can create a democratic society, if you guys want a democratic society, is to realize that the current regime that we have right now will not take us there, period. It doesn't matter, you can always make excuses, we can always give more chances through, right now, we have been in problems, but right now it looks like, it's very clear from this deal that has been signed, that it looks like chance is going to be given again to the SPLM to continue governing us, okay? In an event that they screwed up since 2011 until 2013. So many people actually has been dying in the hands of their national securities, And they messed up to a point where we have seen a number of people actually died in Juba, but it looks like we are back to square one, where again the same party has to be given the chance. I want to make this very clear to you guys that look, you can always say it is only Kir that is not good, but the SPLM is all right. It can be maintained. That could be a solution, or it can take us forward. As far as I am concerned, I don't know about you. It's not only about Kir. Don't think Kir is running the country as an individual with his individual mind. No, it is a group of people. It is the SPLM organization. You see, guys, in the 21st century, we have seen this. I mean, many of you guys on the line were living in the Western world. Political parties are given chances to run the country. If they mess up, some other political parties get to be elected or are given chances. We don't elect ours. Ours sometimes comes through these kind of struggles. But at the end of the day, where do you want to line yourself? Do you want to line yourself with this with the same political party that will be offering you the status quo, where people have been dying, they have been a failed, almost international community even described as failed state, almost like Somali? I don't see any sense when people are still aligning themselves behind the same party. Why not try something else different? If it doesn't work, we'll try something else different too. Let us go like that. Let us give options. We cannot stick in one area, even though you're getting hurt, even though you're bleeding. People are saying you're bleeding. Other countries are saying you're failing, and you stick in the same place. What's wrong with you? Huh?
Thank you.
Really, that's all. That's the only appeal, or that's the only message I want to give to the people of South Sudan. But as far as listening to leaders are concerned, I'm sure they have already listened to all the leaders. It's time for people of South Sudan to start thinking what kind of direction they want to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tabata. It was good having you on the show. Thank you. Please stick around. So, Billy, look, let me bring you in because you said you have really quick thing you want to ask. Let me go ahead before. Go ahead, Billy, look, I'm calling you. Billy, look, how you doing, brother? Good to see you.
Yeah, it is a pleasure to be on your show, Comrade Jongkor.
So that means you're still in Australia. That's why you look dark tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I just woke up and I was just watching while sleeping.
Okay, it looked like, Australian, they're going to take you away from U.S. the way I see it. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Probably, yes, I hope.
Yeah. Okay.
But not yet. I'm coming back anytime soon, so just look around.
Okay.
So anyway, it is a great honor and privilege to be on this show today, and I haven't been missing a lot of your show these days, and I have been out of social media for quite some time now. So this is a pleasure today to be here, and I want to say thank to all the viewers who are actually here, and thank to Comrade Jongkor for this great opportunity. And I want to also thank you for servicing us as South Sudanese and for being concerned citizens. We are all concerned citizens because we are actually still shopping for political parties to align ourselves with, because it appears most of the political parties do not satisfy our expectation and anticipation as a citizen of South Sudanese. And so it was a great honor today to be listening to General Thomas Cirillo. He is a great decorated military general. I had the experience and opportunity to have interacted with him during the Liberation War in Greater Equatoria. So I want to thank and congratulate Comrade Thomas Cirillo for his appearance today on your great show, Jongkor. It is a great pleasure, and he's a great man, and we all honored him for his service and his contribution to the liberation struggle. So thank you very much, General Thomas Cirillo. I salute you, and we honored you for your service, your dedication and service to the nation by during the war or liberation struggle was a great thing. We all honored you for it. So thank you very much, General Thomas Cirillo. However, coming to the main point of which we are here today, when General Thomas Cirillo defected from the government of South Sudan, I did read his ideological vision. He has a great vision, and I do admire his vision when I read it on the script. Unfortunately, when this peace process started to take place in Addis Ababa and Khartoum, I came to be disappointed by his ideological vision, especially when he started opposing the idea of the 32 state, because I actually come from the constituencies who actually support, who are the diehard of the 32 state. And that contradicts his political ideology when he talk about federalism. And this is what is actually disappointing me. Otherwise, I was almost about to join his political party because he has a great vision. Unfortunately, I was turned off when he started forcing and take a center stage in forcing the 32 states that were actually demanded by the people of South Sudan. That shouldn't have been his point to be there. He should have stand up for the people of South Sudan, because 32 states were the popular demand of the people of South Sudan. So I do not actually, or we as South Sudanese were not actually expecting any political party to afford the idea of the 32 state, because that's what a federalism is. And so this is what is actually contradictory to more of us as South Sudanese, when more of these political parties do afford the 32 state in that particular case. So I actually respect General Thomas Cirillo, and being a patriotic nationalist, as I know him, he was a patriotic freedom fighter, which I still continue to believe today. Unfortunately, I lost hope in all the political parties that took part in the recent peace negotiation in Khartoum, because most of them failed to condemn the peace negotiation, which was actually signed between Salva Kiir regime and the Khartoum regime, because this peace process, you have seen my live program, which I ran in late July, concerning or pertaining to the issue of the border towns, concerning the issue of the Fantau, and concerning the idea of making a deal with North Sudan about the oil. I consider it as a treasonous peace deal, because this peace deal between Salva Kiir Mayardit and Northern Sudan compromised our territorial integrity of South Sudan. It also compromised the sovereignty of the nation of South Sudan. And in that case, we as South Sudanese are about to lose our national identity, our national pride, because it appears to me that the current regime has actually compromised our sovereignty, our territorial integrity, and our national resources as a whole. And you have seen how the regime of Salva Kiir Mayardit has made a deal with the Ugandan government and the Northern Sudan government. In that case, they have signed up our national resources, and that makes South Sudan look like it is another colony for Uganda and for Northern Sudan. And so I haven't seen any political party, including the party of General Thomas Cirillo, condemning Salva Kiir political party on such a treasonous deal, because it does compromise our territorial integrity, the sovereignty, and the national independence of our country.
Thank you.
Because it is actually like the Northern Sudan and the Ugandan are going to protect the leadership of Salva Kiir Mayardit simply to stay in power. And so that was the reason why, I failed to believe in General Thomas Cirillo anymore, because they failed to condemn Salva Kiir on that. And being a patriotic nationalist, you should have been specific on that issue, because this is one of my major concerns right now. Otherwise, I have no problem with the South Sudan government signing the peace deal with our political parties and the rebel, whatever the case may be. But my main concern, or what should be the main concern of all the patriotic citizens of South Sudanese, is to make sure that they should condemn the incumbent regime for having compromised our territorial integrity, our sovereignty, and the independence of our country. Now you have seen Northern Sudan is going to move in with his troops to
Billy.
come and occupy the oil field. Thank you.
We are running out of time. So thank you so much, brother, for coming in and air your perspective as well. I apologize to everybody at Jama because the time is limited and you can hear me. You know, I'm not doing well today, but you know what? This is a collective responsibility that I have to do it. Even though I took a day off always on Friday, I'm losing $2, you know, on my pay, because actually the manager said if I could work on the Fridays, actually I would get a raise of $2 per hour. You know, calculate that, you are looking like 160 every 2 weeks. You are looking like 300 and you know, 340, 370 some, you know, every month is a lot of money. But I refuse to do so, and I'm still sick doing this because I love my country and I care for South Sudan. So please, let's limit the time. Let us give it like, you know, a few minutes so everybody can come here and air their perspective as well. Let me go ahead here and this is not a joke. You know, this is not a joke. This is true actually, because the manager said if they can, you know, move me around and schedule me whatever time that they want to, actually they're gonna give me that $2. But that $2 is good for me, but South Sudan deserve more than $2. And that's why I'm doing this. I'm being consistent in every Friday doing this. Remember the quote by former President of the United States, J.F. Kennedy: my fellow American, do not ask what your country can do for you, but do ask what you can do for your country. And that's why we are here, talking, advocating, you know, airing our opinion regarding our country. So it's good, you know, to be together, because when we have that conversation, we will come together and we will come all the challenges. So let me go ahead and call the next person. Lily Lawrence, I'm calling you right now, Lily. Lily, please go ahead and answer that. I'm calling you right now. I'm calling you, Lily. Lily, you are not responding. I don't know what is the issue is, but I'm calling you right now. Just go ahead and answer that so we can move ahead. No problem, Billy. It appears Lily is not responding. You can send in another request. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and call you Agwet. Yeah, Lily, I tried to send it actually, but it's not connecting for some reason.
Comrade
So
Jongkor.
Agwet, we have 5 minutes really quick because, like I said, I am volunteering my time.
I think I'll
volunteering my time.
I'll be less than that.
And let's go ahead.
Anyway, Comrade Jongkor, I want to say thank you so much for your invitation. Also, I want to say hello to your audience, those who were with you in the previous, you know, and then now, you know, the second one. You know, first of all, we have to acknowledge, you know, those who have fallen on the road to our freedom.
Correct.
In combat and in civilian alike. The war of 21 years has taken millions of lives and fried 1955.
I want, I want to thank, General Thomas Cirillo. He's a general in the army. I don't believe in his politics, but he's a general. We want to thank him for what he has done. Since 1990s. When he exit, the radical, government of jihadists in Juba, and joined, the Arka Shabi, Uji Shabi, until the independence of South Sudan. We want to say to him, thank you, my friend. Now, why this time is matter to us? It matters to all of us. Whatever tribe you are, it doesn't matter. South Sudan has no color of the skin. South Sudan is home to all people of South Sudan. General Thomas Cirillo, I want to ask you this question. And if you are not available, one of your, representative can answer this. Are you, the leaders of NAS, are using South Sudan as a mean to an end? People of South Sudan have been used as a mean to an end. Please, if you have a question, if you are available, or one of your, a spokesperson can answer that.
I'll try to
Comrade
get you.
Jongkor, this brother, Thomas Cirillo is a great guy. He's a South Sudanese citizen, and what he should know, and what the rest of the people of opposition should know, and even those in the government. This war we are fighting is not our war. If it is not our war, why don't we go back and follow the principle of our liberation struggle? And I want to agree, with Comrade Tongyang, what he has said previously. Thomas Cirillo probably is going to face the demise. His movement will face demise, like the rest of those who have chosen the path of its ethnicity. They cannot compare themselves with the government in power. This government in power can even associate with the Satan. This government cannot be toppled by any opposition, and you have said it very clearly before. And Tongyang have said that why the Riang Machar movement has collapsed, because he used one ethnicity, even though some it has some from other parts of South Sudan background tribe, but one element in the Riang Machar movement were from Nas, and because of that it collapsed. Now the Riang Machar has signed a peace that might take him anywhere. That peace might be able to take him to prison very soon. The group of NAS and as UF and the others, please take South Sudan as a priority. Above all, maybe you might have a difference with the government in power, but all of you, the SPLM party, the ruling party, and those who have a participant in the government have failed South Sudan. So it's time for them to accept this peace. This peace might not be the peace we are looking for, but this peace can open a door and can give us access. And I want to remind you, audience, General, going below has said this in 2012. He said that whoever has refused not to allow peace to come to South Sudan will take peace to him. Who was the person? The government of Umar Bashir is the one who has been supporting rebel, and the peace has taken to Umar Bashir. He has signed it. He has taken percentage in the oil. All the chapters of every rebel in the whole Sudan will be closed down. There will be no supply of weapon. So why I'm saying this? I'm not using this as a threat, but I'm telling my brothers, peace is good. Jongkor, you've been out here for 8 hours sometime, because you're talking about peace. You would have made some money into your family. But why you are here because you want to pass the message. And the good news that you have audience, those who are listening, those who will be able to send your message. And your message, mostly, daily, when you do it could reach about 100, 200,000 people in South Sudan and across the global aisle. That is the message we want to see. Thomas Cirillo, please, you have to support the peace. And if you have not signed the peace, try to engage. Try to engage with the government. This government is not an isolated, this government, you are part of this government. And also, I want to reject and I want to condemn from Thomas Cirillo what he has said previously, last 2 weeks ago in May, when he said he was the one who supported the Riang Machar to exit to Congo, while he was also a second in command in the operation confrontation. That was, called a peace column. He has committed a peace column. If there is a crime, a war crime against the government of South Sudan, Thomas Cirillo cannot be exonerated. He will be part of those who will be prosecuted one day. So, Comrade Jongkor, I don't want to prolong what I'm saying. Might be less than 5 minutes, but what I want to leave behind here, لكل جنوبين المشاهدين هنا جنوب ده بلدنا. Umar Bashir has signed the peace and he thinks that he will win. Umar Bashir will never win as long as the SPLA is available. We have lost millions of people during the combat. Those who were not even having weapons, but they fought to death until we have the liberation. Let us protect our country. Our enemy is the radical fundamentalist in Khartoum, not Thomas Cirillo, not Bakasoro, not Duriang Machar, not Mulongawan, and none from us. Our enemy is far distant, and we have to get that enemy, and let's try to unite, try to support peace. We are not enemy to ourselves. Without this, my brother, I would say, may the Almighty, the God, bless the people of South Sudan and peace be to all. We just want to live in peace and try to support the justice. That is all.
Thank you, Akwat. Thank you for coming on and airing your perspective as well. Let me go ahead and see the next person in the line. Lily, can you say it again, please? Lily, send it, please. It doesn't take that long. You just hit the green button and then it should come through. Okay, Lily, I'm calling you right now. Go ahead and answer that. Decline. Try again. It's adding now. Okay, Lily, good to see you.
مرحبا.
أهلا وسهلا فيك. Go ahead.
في شنو جديد؟
Well, you have been watching quite a long. You don't know في شنو جديد يا Lily?
Oh my goodness. So المهم أنا بشكرك جدا في for your sacrifices every Friday, and today also you include like Thursday on top of the Friday. This is appreciation right here. You are really not only a leader, you are influential. You are now influencing even thousands of South Sudanese, even back homes. People call me Lily. Brother Jongkor is doing a good job. So that's the thing. I just want to remind us that you are a true leader, a loving South Sudanese, regardless of your tribe. I have been watching you for all this time, and I'm comfortable in your show. So, and second, also, I would like to appreciate all the South Sudanese that today attended the speech. We are all one South Sudanese, the children of South Sudanese. I'm just going to emphasize a little bit because of the time allotted. I was so impressed by General Thomas Cirillo, by him today coming out and responding to your request. Not only your request, but the public had requested for him to come publicly and clear some of the perceptions that we as the South Sudanese, we have on his movement. Initially, including myself, people did not understand why he resigned. Initially, people thought that maybe he was there only for the Equatorian or for the Bari. So the first thing I'm impressed, let the people hear from his mouth. And I have been watching his speeches wherever he go. He never mentioned something about his tribe or about the Equatorian that to support him. And if you check his structure even itself, there is no tribe close to him as his vice. So this is the good thing. Number two, I would like to emphasize only 1 minute on the peace that had been signed. And I agree, and he took a good decision as a leader that you have to stand firm for what you believe, ya Jongkor. Inta zor rajil, inta lela kan masadaf ya gelbak inu hajere manejit, yan aki le manigi tu kwais, ita bestemsi kalam bugulu a meshal hal. Ita mumkin taqul meshal hal fi haja bita dawla, de ma haja bita khas, te meshal hal fi salam, al-qatal kamnas, de haja na Moksud ma general inu umagal mader salam. He was a liberator. He came from a family that love people. That's why a fruit cannot fall far from a tree. Therefore, I would like to encourage all of our leaders to come together inclusively to encourage everybody, even Paul Malone, anybody. This is what I expect from our father, like the president, Charles Bakir. He has to be a leader that listen to his opponents, listen to the viewers, exchange views. What is your problem? Bring the children together on the table, discuss with them, and resolve the problem before you just rush and sign a peace that will hinder the progress and even the implementation of this peace. Therefore, the third part I would like to encourage us, let us not be obsessed about supporting our tribal leaders just because he's from Bari, he's from Nuer, he's from Dinka. This is a wrong and all way of perceptions. We have only to support a leader based on what he has in the table. Does it constitute the welfare of the South Sudanese? This is the thing I would like to encourage Brother Jongkor. We have to remove this mentality, toxic perceptions towards our individual leaders. So, General Thomas Cirillo, he might be like David. You know, David, he defeated giant Goliath only with a stone. He was 9 feet tall, and he has all the ability that he can defeat the Israelites. But the Israelites defeated the Palestinians only with 1 stone. So do not undermine somebody that is really fighting for you. So I would like to encourage all the leaders in South Sudan to work so hard to continue the dialogue so that they will come on the table and resolve the issues before the implementation of the peace. Finally, I would like to finalize by this. Our leaders already violate Jongkor, the ceasefire. They have been fighting in Unity State. They have been fighting in some of the Equatorial area. Our civilians, they have been affected, and even they died. So I disagree. Our president, I had like 2 weeks. They say the ceasefire need to be stopped. The fighting between the IO and the government, they must stop this killing because they will be registered under the humanitarian violations, and it will interrupt this peace implementation.
Thank you, Lily, for coming in, and airing your perspective as well. It was always good to have you on. Please stick around. Let me go ahead and get other South Sudanese so they can add their views as well. Thank you, Lily Lawrence. All right, let me go ahead here and see. The list goes on and on. Send me the request again. It looked like you left Abu Yasmin. If that's possible, I would love to have you here actually. Yeah, Jamal, send in your request. Abu Yasmin, good to see you, brother. How are you?
تمام اخبارك.
I know, alhamdulillah. شوية نزلة كده لكن I can handle it with this. So
okay. Yeah, just good to be back to concerned citizen of South Sudan. So I'm going to be very brief this time around.
No problem.
Because I'm at work. I just excuse myself like for a few minutes to come and give in my 2 cents. First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting and hosting General Thomas Cirillo. And at the same note as well, I would like to thank Thomas Cirillo for availing himself to come and then speak on the show. It's good for the people, for the leaders, to interact with the public so people will know exactly the way Sister Lily put it. I was listening to him. He did articulate and presented himself very well. I think he was prepared this time. And I never pay attention to him or listen to him for that length of time. Today he did very good. He laid down what he's standing for, what his movement is standing for. He was very inclusive. But what disappointed me, and before I go there, when you ask him about now he's leading the alliances, Soha, and you ask him about the SSUF, is it part of these new alliances? The answer he gave, it didn't satisfy me, because he said that if Malong is General Paul Malong is genuine in his fight against President Salva Kiir, it would be more than welcome. There is an application, and then people will look into his application if it is in line with the charters of the alliances, and then he will be accepted. And at the same note, he went and said that we need to reach out, we need to mobilize our people, and as some of supporters said, this is a little bit is gray to me. I didn't understand that, but what I know generally, if you're running a movement, you have to open, because you need to recruit a lot of people. You know,
yes,
your enemy of yesterday can be friend of today, because the al-hadaf hatkun wahid. Shaif kif? Now, what has disappointed me is the people that had spoken after General Thomas Cirillo. People were some within NAS, some within other political parties. There is too much bias that I noticed. Even the example that were given about the killing that happening across South Sudan, there is some areas that were skipped. People being selective not to mention them. So I don't know why. Is it because of the ethnics, those were killing those areas, or what? I don't know. Is to me is I don't understand. I don't get it. And good example is this. And Thomas Cirillo actually, he gave you the reason why they didn't sign the peace agreement, or they don't want to be part of this deal, because of root cause. And there is and he actually articulated very well. The root cause is this. It's very, very simple to any average South Sudanese to know it from today, from me. If you want to take it, that's fine. The root cause is the SPLM problems. The lack of the internal democracy within the SPLM is what led the country to where we are today. So now, who actually contributed to those root causes will bring us to the questions of Hal President Salva Kiir and Dr. Riek Machar, al-Azma wala juz min al-Azma? If you are able to answer that question, you will know what is the root cause. See, back to my point here, we need to be very inclusive, all South Sudanese, if we need genuine peace, and if we need to work together to go to the destiny that we dream. We don't need to be very selective. I've seen some good folks here, this well spoken, but they were selective and too much bias. Yes, there is a killing happening in Juba. That's under any circumstances within the justice system or within the law, this can be attributed as the state killing, the state crime. You know, it's not Dinka, it's not Shuluk, it's not Nuer, it's a state crime, regardless who committed that crime, right? And now, as a result of that, there is killing happening in Bor, in Bantu, in Malacca. Why people don't mention those? That's just my problems. Why people don't mention this? What you can hear only repeatedly and multiple times is the killing of Juba and Raja and
wow,
and around and wow and so, but people skipping these areas. Why? I don't know. I need answer for that. That's why I actually excuse myself to come to bring to your attention. That was a very good show today for Thomas Cirillo to come. But what disappointed me as well is the folks within the NAS movement, they actually ruined their show. The show was very good, was fantastic. They should actually go and support and echo what Dr. Thomas Cirillo said. But it is unfortunate they came, you know, from different perspectives. That's actually is a bit trashing to what Thomas Cirillo was saying. But all in all, it was well presented, and I will give him thumbs up. You know, regardless, you know, doesn't mean that I agree with him completely or no, because any politicians, whatever he says, I can consider that as a political statement.
Correct.
And then we have to sit now to acquire more information and see how sincere the general or the politician is.
Yes. So, Cirillo, thank you so much. There is a question actually on a lot of people's mind, which is they use federalism, modern Kokoro, and also I asked about how people view NAS. Is it really they are fighting for independent Equatoria, or they are fighting for the national agenda? How do you think is handled that these two questions? You know.
Well, he did good actually, and the thing is this, you know, I'm not going to speak on behalf of NAS. Federalism is a very broad terms when we have to narrow down what kind of federalism we want. And going to compare federalisms in the United States or Canada or Australia to South Sudan, that's totally different. South Sudan is a different setting. And keep in mind, all the in East African countries, after the colonizations, they actually adopted the federal system, and then later on they abandoned the system. Like in Uganda, for example, Somalia, these were all federal states, but they abandoned those. Now will bring us to the federal system is not bad, but why in the first place acquiring the federal systems? The federal system can be acquired for too many reasons. Maybe you want to preserve your regions, you want to preserve your cultures, you want to preserve your political unit or political unit within the country. These are all federal system can be the best system to protect yourself or to preserve whatever you're fighting for. And is this what Thomas Cirillo is fighting for? To preserve the unit, to preserve the regions, or to separate the Equatorian state from the rest of the South Sudan? I don't. This is a little bit too much, and it's too early to judge that Thomas Cirillo is fighting for that. And I personally, I don't think so, because it's a long process, in that region in East Africa now to fight for another country. And we've seen what happened with the Republic of South Sudan, that was backed and supported by very much international community to separate and see what's happening now, and the human suffering that this new country caused. And it's still going to go back to us. So it's very tough juncture to conclude that Thomas Cirillo is fighting for to liberate the state of Equatoria. I don't think so. That's my personal view.
Okay. Well, Abu Yasmin, it's always good to have you. Thank you so much for your analysis and contribution. Please stick around. If you have a point you wanted to come back later, I'm more than welcome to bring you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, please remind your speaker, people need to be very inclusive when we don't need to be selective and biased, because you are listening.
Correct.
There's the killing of innocent people is not justified. Killing in Juba is not justified. Killing in Bor is not justified either, because you don't want to confuse yourself between pursuing of justice and revenge. When you're being selective in that fashion, you're actually confusing yourself.
Correct.
So please, we need to be very inclusive. All the innocent people that are killed in across South Sudan are our brothers and sisters. We need to cry for them.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Attilio. Thank you. That's a good point. All South Sudan who were killed in South Sudan, they are all our brothers, despite their tribe, whether they are Nuer, they are Dinka, they are Bari, they are Anuak, they are Balanda, they are South Sudan. They are South Sudanese. We should mention all of them, because it doesn't look that good to mention one and leave others, because we are all the same. So let me go ahead and see you next. Jimmy Arika. Jimmy Arika, I'm calling you right now.
Assalamu alaikum, Ustaz, brother Jongkor.
Ahlan wa sahlan. Good to see you, brother.
أحييك برنامج من برنامج بتاعك concerning citizen of South Sudan وكل المشاهدين.
نعم.
وهنيك لبرنامج لأساس إنك أنت جبت جنرال توماس شيريلو.
Yes.
لأساس إنه يوضح أشياء كثير الشعب جنوب السودان مفترض هم عاوزين يعرفوها من جبهة الخلاص الوطني.
نعم.
فنحن في جبهة الخلاص الوطني هي طبعا يعني في هجمات كثير صراحة من كل قبل من كل قبل السياسيين اللي موجودين ومن كل شعب جنوب. باريا ولا ده بتاع دارين يناضلوا من شان قبيله ولا من شان إيكواتوريا. جنرال توماس هو وضح اشياء كثير، فاعتقد انه يعني الناس فهمت الرساله، وده حاجه مهمه جدا، كونه ما انه القائد يجي امام الشعب ويطرح القضايا بتاعه والمشروع الحزبي بتاعه للناس
نعم.
عشان الناس تقدر تفهم. بعدين برادر جونكور يعني هنا كمشاهدين برنامج Concerning Citizen وبعض من السياسيين اللي موجودين وبعض من الاخوه اللي بيتمرسوا في السياسه، في حاجات احنا لازم نعرف حاجه واحد. يعني احنا يعني القيادات الموجوده اخذنا تجربه كثيره في جنوب السودان، والناس دي كله في جنوب السودان كان اس بي ال، ما في زول ما اس بي ال. لكن من خلال اس بي ال اتضحت مشروع بتاعت اس بي ال، وهم اثبتوا وجودا في عرض الواقع بتاعت السياسه انه فشلوا في اشياء كثيره جدا، وده من الاسباب اللي خلت انه الليله تكون في انحراف في اس بي ال. عشان كده الليله في انشقاقات كثير في اس بي ال، وكل من القياديين اللي هم في داخل الاس بي ال. وبالنسبه للبيس اجريمنت الليله نحن بنعمل الجنرال توماس شيريلو ما ساين فوقه. يا جماعه بالعقليه نحن كلنا يعني اذا كنا بجد يعني احنا بنقول انه نحن متابعين احداث جنوب السودان ومتابعين السياسات اللي موجوده في الجنوب، نحن بنعرف انه حصري جدا.
نعم.
الواحد ممكن يخش في عولمه الانترنت عشان يقدر يعرف كثير عن الحزب ده مشروعه شنو. فبغض النظر كل حزب له مانيفستو بتاعه، فانت لو مشيت للمانيفستو بتاعت ناس انت بتلقى انه الاهداف بتاعهم شنو ولا الرؤيه بتاعهم شنو من الحلول الجذري في البلد. فبالنفس التالي
جيمي الناس بيقولوا ما سامعين صوت. انا ما اعرف الحكايه شنو، لكن انا سامع صوتك واضح يعني، لكن الناس بيقولوا ما سامعين صوت. I don't know كده.
والله انا ذاته سامع صوتك نظيف يا برادر جونكور.
قد يكون.
فبالتالي
جو اهيد كمل.
فبالتالي برادر جونكور هنا لازم نوضح حاجه، لازم نشوف المشروع الحزبي هي شنو عشان نقوم نتبع الشخصيه ذاته. فبالتالي الليله انه يعني انت لما تجي في مشروع بتاعت الناس انت بتلقى انه في يعني بتشكل لوحه بتاعت جنوب السودان كله موجوده، حتى في الهيراركي بتاعت الناس. يعني الناس ده كان فوق داود كثير، لكن اصبحت توضيح كامل وشامل. حتى في يعني اقام مؤتمر هنا في ولايه مينيسوتا، حتى في جنرالات يعني اتصلوا من جراوند دل عندهم علاقه بايكواتوريا، لا بينحدروا من ايكواتوريا ولا من اي مكان، لكن هم ناس عندهم رؤيه للدوله وعاوزين وحده وسلامه اراضي بتاع جنوب السودان. فبالتالي نحن علينا لما نكون الناس تمشي لاتفاقيه برادر جونكور، انا متاكد انت you are concerned your time to be in the media to explain a lot about the problem that we have. ففي ناس يا جونكور بيمشي emotionally، يعني عشان الليدر بتاعي من نوير I have to support him because he's in نوير. leaders بتاعي من كده and then I have to criticize other leaders from other regions. This is a wrong mentality that we have as a South Sudanese. لكن احنا مفترض ان احنا نقعد نفكر كشعب جنوب السودان، لانه leaders they don't come from nowhere. Yeah. انت ذاته ممكن تكون leader. I can be a leader. Everybody can be a leader. Why can we just put the problem in South Sudan? Why can we put the problem of South Sudan and let us analyze how to solve it by ourselves even. أننا عندنا قدرات، عندنا كفاءات يا جونكور. أنت عندك كفاءات، عندك رأي في قضية بتاع جنوب كconcerning citizen. أنا عندي رأي في قضية بتاع جنوب. Everybody have. لكن how can we bring ourselves together as a one people in one nation?
That's a good question.
We should not criticize. اي هنا مفترض ما نكرتسايز اي زول، لكن نشوف مشروع. توماس انت جيت كده مشروع بتاع الناس شنو؟ احنا ما نعرف مشروع بتاع الناس بينفع معنا، ده بيجيب لنا حل جذري لجنوب السودان، اننا بنمشي معه. لو بتاريخ مشاريع ده بيجيب لنا حل جذري لجنوب السودان، قضايا حل جذريه، نمشي بالايديولوجيه الفكريه للحزب، وليس ليس بالايديولوجيه الفكريه القبليه. ده حاجه مرفوضه، وده حاجات اللي ضيعت جنوب السودان يا برادر جونكور.
شكرا.
So for my all followers and brothers and sisters in South Sudan يا جماعه نحن خلينا نراجع نفوسنا، وخلينا نشوف انه حل السلام ده الموضوع ده بيجيب حل لجنوب السودان. ده the cause root of the problem of the South Sudan. I believe and you believe it's not. Believe me يا جونكور، احنا لما نتكلم خلينا نتكلم من جوانا جوا. as توماس جنرال توماس spoke، هو اتكلم من قلب بتاعه جوا. because احنا دارين الحل، دارين South Sudanese all of us we should come together. حتى الامين العام قال الكلام ده، we should make ان شاء الله مؤتمر. يا اخي احنا ذاتنا انا بناشد شباب، اذا كان الشباب هم بيقدروا يناقشوا قضايا من خلال هذه المنبر بتاع concerning citizen، we can be able to نعمل كونفرنس. ليه ما نعمل كونفرنس؟ لانه الشباب هي دور الاساسيه للدوله. كويس؟ يعني احنا بنقدر نقعد ونتفاكر ونطلع بريزولوشن كويس لحل بتاعت القضايا كشباب، لوحده بتاعت الشباب. لانه we don't want any leaders to come out and use شباب for their own objective and their own حاجات بتعمل خاصه. ده الحاجات اللي احنا دارينه يا برادر جونكور. and I'm very happy with you with your show، لانه ده بيعلم بعض الاخوه انه احنا كيف نقدر ناخذ ديسيشن. وبعدين لما نجي نتكلم دائما خلينا نتكلم من حيث ساوث سودانيز، الوحده بتاعنا وين؟ لانه جنوب السودان ده ما بلد بتاع اي زول، ده بلد بتاعنا كلنا، سواء كان انت من نوير من دينكا من whatever is our land. All of us is concerning us. Any problems going in South Sudan is concerning us. So ده زمن انه الشباب تساهم في الحل بتاعت القضايا في جنوب السودان. This is the right time for us as a شباب. لانه خلاص we are tired from the war. We've been born in the war. We grow up in the war. That's really a good time for us to speak our mind and then to tell enough is enough as a youth. And then let us unite ourselves. First thing, let us unite ourselves, and then we will be proud to be as a citizen of South Sudan. This is my message to my people.
شكرا. Thank you. It looked like, yeah. شكرا جزيلا brother Jimmy Arika. انت كنت معنا في concern citizen of South Sudan, well spoken, articulate. I like you the way you put it. شكرا جزيلا brother, and stick around. Thank you.
شكرا.
Okay, let me go ahead here. يا جماعة, as I said, long line here. Jigo, I'm calling you. Go ahead and answer that, Jigo. Are you settled?
ايوه. Hello?
Okay. Good to see you, Jigo. Welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan.
شكرا للانفيتيشن. يعني حاجه كويس خالص. يعني احنا بنشكرك طبعا بهذا البرنامج، وقدرت تجيب السياسيين المختصين بالمساله بتاعت المشكله في جنوب السودان. طبعا زي ما انت فاهم ان هسه هذه يعني المشاكل خلص السودانيه دي كلها يطلع يعني سياسيين يعني من غير شهادات.
علي صوتك شويه وبعدين وجهك وين الليله؟
والله انا هنا في شغل كده بس.
اوكي.
انا في شغل هنا. هاي زي ما انا قلت لك انت، طبعا المشكله بتاع جنوب السودان ده او الحرب ده كله خلى الجنوبيين كله يطلعوا يعني سياسيين من غير شهادات يعني.
كل واحد بيتكلم، وطبعا ده رأي يعني عادي، لكن السياسيين هم انفسهم هم عارفين هم بيعملوا في شنو.